hardscape pavement to ground allows water to soak and distribute, except with the best intentions, this project is not finished. I'm Justin Hitt from Prosperity Homestead. So what we got here is a hardscape, and then it goes off to what we call a natural parking spot, or just a regular grass area, which allows the hardscape to run water off into this grassy area rather than over the side of this hill. So you can see this large embankment set up here, and of course you don't want the water to run over the hill, so you want to get that water to soak into the ground. Now, I said it's not a finished project. For some reason they haven't put gravel or the porous blocks on this particular setup here, so it's missing its porous blocks, and that means this area is going to just get muddy and get nasty, and water is going to run through it in a way that's not productive. So what can be done? Well, first off, trenching out a drain in the center so that this water can move from this higher slope down to either a sump or a drain downhill on that other end, and then taking out the top layers of soil and putting in about 12 inches of rock, some large rock in the bottom. On top of that, you're going to put some kind of porous paver block. So there's a lot of different products available, and then on top of that you're going to put like a smaller type of rock. Now the scale you're going to look at, the big rocks on the bottom are going to have enough gap space that the smaller rocks you put on top are going to allow the water to drain, but it's not crush and run. So speak with a professional for your location, because the amount of rock, depth, density, all that stuff depends on how much rainwater you get. But what I want to show you is that without such a system, all you're going to have is mud and mess. So it's great. You can extend a hardscape without paving. You can solve water runoff problems by having a sump area. But again, if you don't do it right, you end up with a muddy mess. As we're seeing here, it's not too bad. But again, you don't want to be parking cars over soil, compacting that soil, and then the soil now runs the water off rather than soaking and spreading. Now, there are some challenges with soaking water in the ground behind a berm or a terrace. So we're actually standing on a terrace, and you can see down here that there's brush and stuff. So this particular drain would probably be closer to the asphalt to kind of wick that water away, and then the stone part here would be higher than the asphalt, so that we're almost channeling the water back to a drain system, like a French drain system, that is then going to move that water away elsewhere. Now on the other end it drops off, so that drop off, you don't want to run water down the hill. It's going to run off that drop off into a sump so that it lowers the elevation of the run and ultimately takes all the power out of the water. So it's just something to look at. The best intended designs not properly implemented will actually be trouble over time. And what's just going to happen here is the soils are going to get compacted when you have guests come out. And of course, I'm not telling you what location it is. It's just an example, a lesson learned. But when you have guests come out here and they're walking in nice shoes and things, they're going to end up with mud on the feet. I'll include a link below to the natural pavers, that the poorest hardscapes that I've shown you in other videos, and again, some tips and ideas about doing this kind of thing. This is perfect for a driveway. You can either do it in rock and allow grass to grow through it, but again, the grass is going to decompose. The grass is going to eventually clog up the ground if you don't have some kind of hard surface paver to spread out that weight of the vehicle, because we don't want compaction, we want drainage, especially when you're moving water off a hardscape. And actually there's a drain in the middle of this, but if any of the water that comes off the hardscape, you want to get it into the ground, soak it deep in the soil rather than running it over top of what we have here is a berm. Now, I want to show you one last thing before I go. There is geotextile exposed here. Let's see if I get a better picture of it. You can see the geogrid there. So it does look like they've had to have remediation on this before. And then, of course, they keep cutting down the plants here, which is okay. You can flail mow it. But again, you don't want that rounded edge there that water can run over. So there should almost be a bun at the end here where I'm standing is a little bit higher than the area where you want the water to soak. Anyway, ask your questions in the comments below. When I see these things, I just want to share them with you to make sure you're not making the same mistakes, and so that you can lower the costs of management. You can see there's more geotextile showing here. And then you can get this stuff improved. I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead. Visit me at www.prosperityhomestead.org.